Hi, friends. How are you? Hope you're having a good day. I am, I think. Sure, I am. Why not? It's a choice, right? I make that choice. I'm having a great day. Okay. Um, Today I'm uploading two things that, with permission, that are not mine. One is on Wikileaks and the whole net neutrality. Um, I don't have a bad enough word for it. What it is the destruction of net neutrality, the legislation that is under discussion. Now, that's from Max Igan. Egan? Igan? I don't know. I think it's a pseudonym anyway. But it's very good. It's about an hour long. Now, what's uploading right now, I'm very excited about. Not because of the quality of the recording. It's an Alex Collier lecture from 1996 that it's almost 2 hours. It's wonderful. I had to get special permission from TubeMogul to upload such a big file. It's so nice not to have to put things in pieces. And we'll see if YouTube takes the 2 hour upload, but they seem to be taking whatever I produce, so hopefully. Now, that one is, I hadn't thought of it that way, but it's perhaps background. The Chris Thomas pondering is soup now. I went back to what I consider my sources, and I looked into what the Sirians had to say, the Sirian High Council in the Patricia Cori books, about some of the things that Chris was saying about our origins, about our DNA, about the history of the planet, mankind, and it didn't jive. And I didn't go to the Alex Collier lecture consciously for that purpose. But you know, when you put something in your heart and just let it go, the things that you do that follow that it'll have a bearing. And so my heart led me to that particular lecture. I have, probably a dozen of his that I've downloaded over time. And this one just handles things also that Chris Thomas was speaking of. Now, I'm not saying I think Mr. Thomas is all wrong. I don't. I still say there's things that he says that I truly resonate with. But what I am saying is that his psychic work, I think he's being guided unaware or something. He says that he's reading Akasha and so on. And I just, there's just things that don't mesh with what I consider to be good solid sources. And I'm really feeling good about what I've discovered in this old lecture. It's one that I haven't watched too much. It's in black and white, and the video quality isn't the greatest. But this is in 96, and he worked with what he had, did the best he could, and it's priceless. Plus, I actually did the transcript on this one. So you've got Alex's words that you can go to on Scribed. After my introduction, I actually did what I could to give you his words. And so you've got both the written and the video that you can go to ponder these things, because he will say a lot of things, and I think for everyone that listens, at least some of the things that he says will just blow you away. They will certainly pretzel the mind. They will conflict with your beliefs and whatever you think to be the way that it is. And I think that's a great deal of fun. I mean, personally, I enjoy that. Okay? I think it's grand, exciting, and fun. If we want to grow, then we have to wake up and grow up and be willing to entertain that we don't know everything. And that's what I'm in process of doing pretty much every day. I don't know, and then a lot of times I find that what I knew once upon a time and what I know now are different. So it is what it is. I think we all do the best we can, and that includes yours truly. I do. I give you the very best and the very finest of my current understanding whenever I'm speaking with you. Although I will admit, I get a little time twisted sometimes when I'm doing something like reading an older journal to you, where there's been a lot of growth and development, even though it's less than 12 months ago that the journal was written. And so, but then I'll ad lib. And I've started to just come out and disagree with myself. I hope your growth is proceeding along the same lines so that whenever you wake up, you don't know who it is you're waking up to. The change is so magnificent and so marvelous. I don't remember the exact words. It's kind of a long lecture, but somewhere in there, the Andromedans say that in a very short space of time, maybe a dozen years, we're going to do 150 years worth of growth. Well, I, for one, believe it. I think that's almost a no-brainer. What I'm watching is just so amazing, so marvelous, so magnificent. Now, for those of you who have wondered about the Patal, the beings that are sometimes called the founders, that are of such ancient origin that nobody really knows much of anything about them, they are or were from 11th density. Okay, now here we find ourselves in 3 density. In this lecture, Alex will tell you how the Andromedans believe that we are that our group consciousness, they didn't say anything about individuals. What was said was that our group consciousness is from 11th density. Now, that is freaking huge. It's one thing to try it on as an idea, and I think in one of his other presentations, that's the way it was put forward, as an idea. I don't know if Marciniak and the Pleiadians have touched on this. That's possible too. I've done a lot of reading. But in this lecture, he actually gives some of Morinet's words, word for word. And I think that this thing about being from 11th density is in there. But whether it is or not, that's what the Andromedans are saying. And what are the implications of that? Well, they're freaking vast. But one of them is that it's time for us to reign sovereign over our own lives. One of the implications is that we are and we know and we contain far more than these other beings that we're dealing with. We are the gods, so to speak. I still believe, and the Andromedans do too. I find the Andromedans are a group that believes in God as the isness, and they don't pretend to understand God or the isness, but they have a reverence, a belief in some kind of an understanding, a heart understanding, I would call it, about that. And it cheers you up to have things that are rather important within you anchored and echoed by other beings. Now, Chris Thomas talked about the densities and the soul containing so many densities and so on. I will give you a link to his lecture in this transcript, by the way. I didn't do that earlier. And in the Alex Collier lecture, the Andromedans share their understanding of the densities and apparently what's happening with us here on 3D. They say it's happening much more broadly than that they're subject to it as well. I don't know if it's the cosmos or the universe or what. You'll have to go find that out for yourself. I don't remember. But they said that all of the beings on all of the densities are being raised up to the next level. They call it a 3D implosion, not just time that's going away, but they're saying it's more of 3D itself. Now that's going to be locally. That doesn't mean 3D's disappearing and there's never going to be any more 3D. And if we look around us, it's apparent that that makes a great deal of heart sense, because there are beings aplenty who are not finished with their 3D journey and sojourn. And that's appropriate. And so, you know, that's not disappearing. They'll just be going elsewhere as we all are moving up. They talk about how it's a time of cleansing, of purging and purification, that the energies that are coming in are stripping us so that we are prepared to rise up. And so I find, you know, you can go back and see in my journals how I've been experiencing this. And I think a lot of us have been aware that it's a time of the letting go of things, and how very appropriate that is. This is just very exciting. I am totally uplifted right now by what's going on inside of me, by the understandings, by the new year, and by, I guess, all that I've let go. I feel lighter. I do. Oh, and oh my goodness, I have no idea what it means. But the friend that was so close to me that quite walked away got with me on, not Scribed, on Skype last night with just a few words saying a lot of things have been happening, and she'll be talking with me. That's interesting. You know, when things change on the inside, we will be able to see the changes on the outside. Outside is truly a reflection of inside. And as we adapt to that, it's really powerful. Now, what I'm seeing here is that the divide and conquer thing has been a really important tactic of the darker ones who don't want us rising up because they're afraid of us, frankly. We are great, magnificent beings, and we can't be held down once we awaken. It's not a possibility, and they don't want that to happen because things have been pretty good for them, you know, while they've been riding our backs and using us as slave labor and, you know, those kind of things. And so it's a very exciting time to be on Earth and to be waking up, and I've gone on quite long enough. Have a good day. Bye-bye.